Gilles de Rais. Gilles de Rais, born around September 1404 in Champtocé, France, was a big deal in the 15th century. A rich noble from a powerful family, he grew up smart, learning Latin and military stuff, and fought alongside Joan of Arc in the 100 Years' War, even becoming Marshal of France. But after Joan's execution in 1431, things went dark. He quit the army, blew his fortune on wild parties and occult rituals, and started kidnapping kids, mostly peasant boys. Estimates say he tortured and killed anywhere from 80 to 200, getting sick thrills from their suffering. His noble status kept him untouchable until 1440, when he messed up by abducting a priest over a land dispute. That sparked an investigation, and they found kids' remains at his castle. Gilles confessed under threat of torture, spilling every gory detail. On October 26, 1440, in Nantes, he was hanged and burned at the stake, ending his twisted reign. Some say he begged for mercy, others that he faced it calmly. Either way, he was toast. H. Holmes. Born Herman Webster Mudgett on May 16, 1861, in Gilmanton, New Hampshire, was a total creep, America's first big-name serial killer. Growing up, his dad was harsh, and young Herman got obsessed with death, even dissecting animals. Smart and sneaky, he went to med school at the University of Michigan, learning tricks he'd later use to kill. In the late 1880s, he hit Chicago, changed his name, and built the Murder Castle, a 3-story death trap with secret rooms, gas chambers, and a crazy maze layout. He lured people in, mostly young women, during the 1893 World's Fair, then tortured and killed them, selling their skeletons to med schools for cash. Holmes also offed business partners in insurance scams. He got busted in 1894 after murdering his buddy Benjamin Petezel and botching a fraud scheme. Cops dug into his past, and he confessed to 27 killings, though some think it's way more, maybe 200. On May 7, 1896, in Philadelphia's Moyamensing prison, they hanged him. His neck didn't snap right away, so he twitched for 15 minutes before dying. Gruesome end for a gruesome guy. Albert Fish. Albert Fish, born Hamilton. Howard Fish, on May 19, 1870, in Washington, D.C., was one sick dude, easily America's most twisted serial killer. His childhood was rough. Dad died when he was 5. Mom dumped him in an orphanage, where he got beat up and liked it. Mental illness ran in his family, and it showed. By his 20s, he was in New York City, painting houses, marrying, and raising 6 kids. Seemed normal, right? Nope. Fish was into self-harm, sticking needles in his groin, and soon started snatching kids. He'd torture, kill, and sometimes eat them, getting off on the pain. His worst crime? In 1928, he lured 10-year-old Grace Budd away, killed her, and later sent her mom a letter bragging about cooking her. Cops traced it back to him. Arrested in 1934, he confessed to at least 3 murders, though he bragged about dozens. Diagnosed psychotic but legally sane, Fish went to trial. On January 16, 1936, at Sing Sing Prison, New York, they strapped him to the electric chair. It took 2 jolts. Rumor says the needles in his body messed with the current, and he was gone. Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper's a ghost. No one knows who he really was, just that he terrorized London's Whitechapel in 1888. Picture this. A grimy, poor district, gas lamps flickering, and this guy stalking sex workers in the slums. Between August and November, he slashed up at least 5 women: Mary Ann Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, and Mary Jane Kelly. His style? Throat cuts, gut mutilations, sometimes yanking out organs like a twisted surgeon. People freaked out. Newspapers ate it up, dubbing him Jack after a sketchy letter he might have sent. Some think he was a doctor or butcher, given the precision. But his motives could have been rage, sex, or just wanting fame. Scotland Yard chased hundreds of leads. Suspects like Aaron Kosminski or Montague Druitt popped up, but with no DNA tech back then, he slipped away. Jack's killing spree stopped after Kelly. Maybe because he died, got locked up, or left town. No execution or jail cell here. He just vanished, leaving a mystery that still haunts us. Dead or not, his legend never died. Andrei Chikatilo. Andrei Chikatilo, born October 16, 1936, in Yablushne, Ukraine, was a monster dubbed the Butcher of Rostov. Life kicked him early. Famine hit his village. His dad got nabbed in World War II, and kids bullied him for being shy and weak. He grew up, became a teacher, but got fired for creeping on students. Married with 2 kids, he played normal while working as a factory clerk. Then, in 1978, he snapped, luring women and kids to quiet spots in Soviet Russia, stabbing, mutilating, and sometimes eating parts of them. He killed 56 people, getting off on their pain, blaming it on rage and messed up urges. Cops flubbed the case for years, arrested him once in 1984, but let him go. Finally, in November 1990, they caught him lurking at a train station. Blood and semen tied him to the murders, and he spilled everything. Convicted of 52 killings in 1992, Chikatilo got the death sentence. On February 14, 1994, in a Rostov prison, they ended him with a single bullet to the back of the head. Quick and final. John Wayne Gacy. John Wayne Gacy, born March 17, 1942, in Chicago, Illinois, was the Killer Clown, a name that still gives chills. His childhood sucked. Abusive, alcoholic dad who beat him down. Gacy craved approval, becoming a businessman and community guy, even dressing as Pogo the Clown for kids' parties. Behind that mask, he was a predator. Starting in 1972, he lured at least 33 young men and boys to his house with job offers or cash, got them drunk or drugged, then assaulted and killed them, mostly by strangling with a rope. He stashed 26 bodies in his crawl space, dumping others in a river. For years, his respectable vibe kept him off radar. But in December 1978, 15-year-old Robert Peast vanished after meeting Gacy. Cops searched his place, found the stench of death, and dug up the horror. Arrested and convicted in 1980 for 33 murders, Gacy got death. On May 10, 1994, at Stateville Correctional Center in Illinois, they gave him lethal injection. He ate a last meal of fried chicken and joked, "Kiss my ass," before the drugs stopped his heart. Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer, born May 21, 1960, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, was a quiet guy with a seriously dark side. His childhood was weird, distant parents, and he got hooked on dissecting roadkill as a teen. After dropping out of college and a stint in the Army, he settled in Milwaukee. From 1978 to 1991, he killed 17 men and boys, luring them to his place with promises of drinks or cash. He'd drug them, strangle or stab them, then get freaky, dismembering, eating parts, and keeping skulls as trophies. Dahmer's calm vibe kept him under the radar, even when cops botched chances to catch him. In July 1991, Tracy Edwards escaped and flagged down police, who found photos and body parts in Dahmer's apartment. Arrested, he confessed to it all, chilling everyone with the details. Convicted in 1992 on 15 murder counts, he got life. No death penalty in Wisconsin. On November 28, 1994, at Columbia Correctional Institution, another inmate, Christopher Scarver, beat him to death with a metal bar in the prison gym. Head smashed, gone in minutes. Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy, born November 24, 1946, in Burlington, Vermont, was the poster boy for charming killers. Raised by his grandparents, thinking his mom was his sister, he grew up smart, hitting law school and working political gigs. But behind the grin, he was a monster. From 1974 to 1978, he killed at least 30 women across states like Washington, Utah, and Florida, luring them with fake injuries or smooth talk. He'd bash them, assault them, and sometimes revisit the bodies. Bundy's good looks and confidence threw everyone off. He even escaped custody twice, once jumping out a courthouse window. Cops finally nailed him in 1978 after he left bite marks on a victim at a Florida sorority house. Convicted in 1979 for multiple murders, he got death. On January 24, 1989, at Florida State Prison, they strapped him to the electric chair. After confessing to 30 killings, some say it's more, he cracked a weak smile, said, "Give my love to my family and friends," and took 2,000 volts. Fried in minutes, his reign was over. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay curious.